Peace, peace. The Hood Mystic here with Keeping It Conscious Radio, episode 2. Change your mind and the power of laughter. Today we are going to get into it, so with no further ado, I tried to go live, but that wasn't working, so I'm going to just record myself and see how that comes out. So, what we are interested in consciousness is to really expand our minds, to work magic effectively as opposed to just really wanting something. To want something is the same as saying that you don't have it. So to say that I do have it when I don't have it, that's creating a disconnect, like I'm lying to myself. So in magic, we try to bridge that gap between having and possessing and really being deliberate in our approach to approaching life, really changing our outlook as opposed to everybody's automatic response to things. Your favorite rapper says donate to the Red Cross, you just donate to the Red Cross without thinking. So many things that we've been given in life we've accepted without thinking. So to think magically is to start to question and start to critically analyze your surroundings for yourself and make better decisions because of it and really change your life for the better. So I'm going to give you magical modalities, and I'm also going to give you practical modalities that you can actually practice for yourself to really tap into these higher consciousness instead of, being charged for such a thing, or to just not actually know or have any particular skill to attain magical thoughts, as opposed to just saying I'm a magical person without no research, information. I'll give you things to look up, to research for yourself, because the trick with consciousness, the trick that has everybody fooled, is that somebody can do your consciousness for you. And so, with that being said, you would study under this person or be in this person's school or listen to that person's lectures and pay for that person's courses and things of that nature, get this person's reading, because it's a part of you based upon religious doctrine that somebody can do it for you. As in Christianity, the pastor takes on more sin than you, and the archbishop takes on more sin than him, and the pope, he represents Catholicism, so he represents you. So everything that he says as a pope, you have to go along with it if you choose to accept that religion. As a conscious person, as a magical thinker, you say, fuck that shit. I'm not about to listen to some white man in Rome tell me what the fuck to do. And that's pretty as simple and plain as I can make it. But you still have to have some structure. You still have to have some religion to yourself. So religion, like we said in the last episode, the ritual episode, is to bind yourself. So the Christian religion is you taking your spirit and your soul and binding it to this white man in Rome. I say, take your religion and bind it to your spirit, to your soul. Bind it to yourself. Bind it to your being and your conscious understanding, your perfect divine mind. That's your God, not God represented as this white man walking around in Rome. So, some modalities to actually start to get you out of this regular religious mindset, because the religious mindset says you can't have joy because you're sad, because you're a sinner. But the conscious mindset recognizes joy and sadness as one thing, so it neutralizes itself. To understand that sadness helps us understand joy, and joy helps us understand sadness, and grief helps us understand togetherness and union and love. and love helps us understand grief. And we neutralize those things so we can actually get to a point where we can reach a magic mindset. We can get ourselves into what they call a trance, because the trance is the electromagnetic energy within our cells vibrating at a point to where we're actually in the realms of cause. With our just everyday thinking, I really want some money, I really want to get out of this situation, that don't necessarily help. What really helps is that submission, that real energy into really changing our lives and changing the way that we think, and stop really living in this cycle of just doing the same things over and over again, getting the same thoughts. So by laying completely still, not moving a muscle, just becoming in unison with your spirit, with your being, with your different types of bodies, and laying low your thoughts, chilling out your thoughts, not letting your thoughts run off into long trains, controlling your mind to bring that consciousness back to your being, and really not panicking about life. Really being in that moment of oneness and stillness is a way that we begin to channel our higher consciousness. We have to get out of our minds, and a lot of us value our minds, but the great work is to take that mind that we once valued so much and alchemize it and really transmute it into a machine, something that we can control, so we can really start to control our reality. And so in that state of relaxation, where you're not moving, you're just relaxing, your mind starts to wander. So you need something to do with your mind so it doesn't wander. The thing to do at that point is to focus on your breath and begin to notice and recognize and channel your breath into your mind, because like we have talked in previous episodes, the solar plexus episode, where we're actually breathing to live. So, and we don't actually think about that. That is coming from a different thought space. So when we channel our minds down to that thought space, the origin of our breath, when we channel our mind to that, we deal with the origin of our beings. And so over time, if you're into journaling and keeping track of these exercises, you will notice that you can start to control your mind, and you will become more of ease and more peace of mind, because you've learned how to relax your body, you've known how to relax your mind, you've known how to relax your spirit. So a lot of times in the dream world, when we go out of body, since our mind is not fully relaxed and calm, when we get into those altered states, we transfer that energy. So the dreams become nightmares, the dreams become scary, and we don't understand because we're not actually fully calm in the mind. So it's very vital that we calm our mind and our body when we start to exit our body and enter into those dream states, because once we enter those dream states with a calm mind and a calm body, we can actually begin to search for solutions and actually see the numbers and see the colors and see the visions. Because a lot of times when we're in the dream world, we're just like children, frightened children, running around in panic mode. So, and that's just a representation of your mind in this adult life, because you're worried about your bills, your mama, your boyfriend, girlfriend, cousins, children, job, career, society, Donald Trump. There's a lot of shit to worry about. So we transfer that into our consciousness, our magical consciousness. And so that's why we may feel that our consciousness and our ability to tap into those higher realms is weak, because we don't have a modality to calm ourselves down. Remember, calming down our mind, calming down our body, and calming down our soul is paramount. And so once we reach this point, our focus is sustained towards a particular object. So that's when we can begin to visualize. So from this state of complete relaxation, do we then want to visualize? Um, we don't want to always think about what we actually want. See, like the lottery is not magical to me. It may be magical to you, but it's not magical to me because it's a gamble. If I win the lottery, I'll feel good. But if I lose, I'll feel bad. And to me, that's not a magical apparatus. Magical to me is things that we can do that are sure shot because we want to deal in the realm of confidence and we want to deal in the realm of indirect. We want to deal in the realm of abstract. So I deal with sigils, I deal with burning herbs, I deal with candle magic, I deal with things that free my mind from the everyday of trying to figure out what numbers to play and hoping that I win. When I do my magic, I know that I win because I know that I'm being completely abstract away from what it is that I want. I know that my spirit and my soul knows my emotions. It knows how to please my emotions. My mind has it set that I want a mansion and 4 cars. Then I'll be happy. That's what my mind has. But my soul knows my emotions. I might be happy with seeing a butterfly or seeing my child smile. Um, Spending time with my girlfriend, like, or having a conversation with my family members or what have you. These are the things that are truly important, and the things that are in my mind are just perversions and things that I'm not even truly aligned with. I think that I want these things, so it's important for me to align spiritually and really trust what is being placed in front of me. And that's just the level of magic that I am at. Um, so to get to any type of level of magic, we have to begin to let go a lot of things. To properly alter our known universe, you have to learn to detach yourself from the world that you're currently living in. Um, because if you're dealing with the emotions of the things that hold you, that's exactly what they're going to do. If you deal with the emotions of the things that's going to free you, that's exactly what it's going to do. So the we're just looking at our waking world as things that hold us, things that bind us, because they're not doing the work that we're doing. Um, that's what makes them a particular evil or a particular negative aspect in our lives. But that doesn't make them inherently evil. They might be great people and good people, but for where we're trying to go, they're not doing that necessarily work. So you need to link up with people who's interested in doing the work, and that's the hard part about it. The only thing that you can do is count on yourself, and that's the beauty of it. All you need is yourself to do this work. So by meditating, lying still, focusing on your breath, these things may ease your mind and get you into a place where you're ready to change. But this isn't Zen mode. This is magic mode. And in magic mode is always another level. The level is infinite. And so my whole life I will continue to push the level. I don't know what level I'm at. I don't know what level I'm going. My thing is to progressively grow. And I don't know who I'm helping now or who I'm helping in the future, but the thing of it is that I'm a student myself. And so that is the magical mind that I choose to surround myself with. I don't really need no fake ass masters, no fake ass gurus, no fake ass priests telling me that they have ascended to a level higher than me because they've studied a lie longer than I have. Because all of that shit is fragments. Nobody has all the answers, that's going to satisfy you personally. The only person that can do that is you. So that's why we're taking on this journey. And it's always required for us to go deeper, to go further, to reach a higher level. No one is the master. We are all masters, though, because we've taken the responsibility of ourselves to lift ourselves, to raise ourselves up. So through meditation, we are preparing the way for establishing that trance-like state. But at the end of the day, we have reached a deeper understanding. I done lost my place. Here we go. The goal is to transform our regular mind into a magical mind. And we're in the process of completely restructuring our mind, changing our regular mind into a magical consciousness. This is what is called the great work. This is what's called magnum opus. This is what is called alchemy. This is changing our regular electric slide, rib eating, everyday nigga ass to a nigga with a turban on a magic carpet on top of a pyramid. That's what we're trying to do mentally. We're trying to, when they say we was kings and we was queens, we are not trying to figure out a way to become manager at Save a Lot with that understanding. We are trying to be something greater than we could even imagine, because we understand that our spiritual mind is 1,000 times more ahead than our conscious mind. So any thought that I could perceive, I can't truly perceive a percentage of what my spirit can conceive for me. So it serves me to always tap into my spirit in any way that I can. So in any waking moment that I may find, you may find me trying to be completely relaxed and completely zoned out, so I can really, like, I see the matrix for what it is. I can see through the illusion. And not to be better or to downplay anybody else, is just where I'm at in my mind. This is how I feel about the world that I'm living in. I feel like it's an illusion, and I feel like it's my responsibility to alter and change it, because it's my damn illusion. I could have been a little Indian girl in Pakistan right now, but I've chose this black male in America illusion for one reason or another. But it's all some bullshit that all the gods and all of the ascended masters sit back and laugh at. But we gonna get into what I'm talking about with that. But we are trying to use our will with the restructured mind. Within the realms of consciousness, we realize that the duality of this world is there, but it doesn't take you out of your flow. You got to keep doing you, even if you was in a flood. I would still have to figure out a way to be conscious about it. And good for me that I've experienced consciousness not when things were going great. I've experienced consciousness being homeless. I've experienced consciousness being broke. I've experienced consciousness without an altar, and all I had was a pen and a pad, and I had to make it do what it do. So everything that I manifest comes from that pen and the paper. So from that, I don't continuously manifest from a pen and a paper. I've expanded my consciousness repertoire, but at the end of the day, I've advanced from different levels, and I've experienced negative and positive polarities within the realm of consciousness, but still remain conscious through it all, never feeling the need to go back to church and ask God to forgive me, but knowing that it's the rhythm of things. What goes up must come down, and things of that nature, the law of polarity. So I had to experience these things to appreciate where I am today, and know that how I got here today was from my own conscious mind. and nothing else. For a lot of people, they may be at an elevated point and adopt consciousness, so their foundation is still like they're on top of a landfill, but they're very high. So, in order for them to get onto a mountain of gold, that will cause them to come down that mountain of a landfill and climb up another mountain. And so for a lot of people, they're not ready to do that. So that's why a lot of people are not ready for consciousness, because they have to get up off this high ass horse with no ladder and climb up on another high ass horse with no support. And that's the tall order. So that's why this is called the great work. In the midst of a whole bunch of supervisors and a whole bunch of people at the BMV, you got to take your conscious ass in the midst of it and know how to bite your tongue and know how to be like, okay, this motherfucker is crazy, but to them you crazy. So moving forward, whatever we experience throughout the duality of this world is just a simple indication in the realization, because we are not humans having a spiritual experience. We are spirits having a human experience. So to be observant and vigilant and understanding that this reality is what it is, and there's going to be good times and bad times all over the planet, and you can do what you can do when you can do it. That's the way it's always been. It's going to be like that after you're gone, and your consciousness does not live in this human body. So if your consciousness isn't the human body, then that's the same as saying that I'm not an ant. So I may see an ant, and if an ant dies, it doesn't fuck up my day. It's just a part of life. And it's not crass or empathetic, but it's just because we're really trying to take control of our lives. And we know that every hour on the hour, the way that this news is set up, to whereas it used to be news comes on 3 to 4 times a day, and you would get updated on what's going on in the world, a limited view. But now the internet, you figure you didn't know what was going on in Pakistan or all these little parts of the world, little parts in Africa and things of that nature. But based upon social media and Google and the 24-hour news cycle, you can get inundated with sorrow and negative images so much that you think that you depressed, you think that you sad, you think that you going through all types of shit because this is what the news is portraying, and you're being inundated with it. So it's important to be disinterested and detached from it, to really cultivate and control your own mind, and really shifting the thought process from reactive to a more proactive mind. So this is how I'm going to use my mind today, as opposed to this is what's going to happen to me. I wonder what's going to happen to me. I hope something happens to me today. That's the human mind. The proactive mind is saying, this is how I'm going to impact the world today. But at the same time, we recognize the world, but we don't really care about the world in the sense of when we're doing our magical work or we're into our ritual, we're not incorporating what's going on in Texas to do magic. That is a tall order. But you wouldn't understand that if you're always trying to help others before you help yourself. And so for many of us, it's necessary for us to cultivate ourselves and cultivate our minds so we will be able to help others. But if we're never at that point where we're healed and cultivated and renewed and transformed, then how could I ever really tell you about it? Religion has us in a state of searching for one polarity over the other. So we bring our religious mind into this magic. So all we want to do is the money shit. All we want to do is the love shit. That's not magic. That's religion. That's not gonna help you, because if you get love, you're gonna be happy, and magic is the shit. But if you don't get love, you're gonna throw it out the window because it's not benefiting you. But a true magical mind is when you get it or you don't get it, you understand. You understand what the universe is teaching you. You understand what your Orishas is showing you through the bad times and the good times. You don't just wish for it to impact you in a positive way for you to celebrate it. So, next we investigate the emotion of laughter as a concept and laughter as a power. We understand the soul. The soul is not a human understanding of life. The soul is a completely different understanding of our reality. So the soul is not good and bad. The soul is strictly good. The soul is strictly joy. And we will want to tap into that soul more than thinking about crazy shit all the time. But the way that our world is set up, that ain't a good thing. So I'm talking about pure amusement. I'm talking about pure love, pure joy. That's what I'm talking about. And from that perspective, all you can do is laugh in pure ecstasy and joy. From that perspective, from the soul's perspective, not the human perspective, to look at life through inquisition and introspection. Like, that is hilarious, because we can always find the humor in things. If you think about Dick Gregory, him passing away, and at the same time Jerry Lewis passing away. So what do we have? We have two comics that are better known for their philanthropic, or however you say that word. Basically me trying to say words that I don't know how to pronounce, but I know what it means. So it's when you donate and you help a lot of people. Philanthropy, or you can just type in PHILA and Google will do the rest. But when you give, so you have two men that are comics and amassed a fortune from making people laugh, and said, I did that so I could help people. It's really beautiful when you look at life from the trickster figure perspective, the Ishu perspective, or the Loki perspective, or the Set perspective, the trick, because these aspects, or these deities, are just different aspects of your consciousness. They're not deities to be worshipped, or concepts or personifications outside of you. The only thing that makes these things universal is that we all share these archetypes. So the archetype within you that is playing a joke on you is your Ishu. So, or is your Loki. Me and you got two different Lokis, but we can understand the concept by calling it Loki or calling it Ishu. So everybody has a trickster figure within ourselves that is playing a joke on you. To me, the key to life is to understanding the joke and laughing with it. But niggas take their life too seriously based upon, so even American Gods, where they had the slave boat and this and the third. The only god that they had representing, African Americans was the trickster god Orlando Anderson, which he represented a trickster like figure. So your bondage is your freedom, but a lot of us choosing the bondage. And so breaking down the trickster figure another level, one more level, so we can kind of grasp it and bring it home. You The world is just different aspects of yourself showing up. This represents your issue. So if a nigga punches you in the mouth, that's just you punching yourself in the mouth. Your issue is punching him in the mouth. But you don't get the joke. You think it's Tyrone from up the block. Because he looked different from you. He was raised in a different house from you. But the reality of life is that you're never going to be in a place where you go to sleep in 7 billion households in one night. So you can only just assume that everybody just sleep in their house. You can only assume that unless you're in that house with them. So these are just experiences that we experience throughout our lives. And they're just mimicking our inner vibration. So we can choose to look at people differently, but you're not gonna ever get the joke that way. You get the joke by realizing that this is all you playing a joke on yourself. So the next time you mad at somebody, you just mad at yourself. Or the next time you worried about somebody dying but you're still alive, how could they die when you're still living? It's just your memories, and a lot of these people you don't even know. So you're just sad because somebody told you that somebody died, and you got a story, and you watched a movie, and or you've experienced something and you've experienced loss, but you're still present. You're still able to transform your mind to think about it in a different way from a magical perspective. So therefore your issue is now Legba. You have made it to the crossroads where you're able to cross over into the next lifestyle. And so some people call them the devil, some people say you gotta sell your soul and all of this, but at the end of the day, you have to let go of the illusion. And if you're able to let go of the illusion, you will be successful because you choose to be successful or unsuccessful, but it's all your choice. And so that's the energy that is ever present in this reality. You are playing the joke on you. So the reason that you don't get the joke is because your lack of understanding, your lack of ability to look at these things in a different way. No, it just is what it is. But I'm going to take that and segue into the history of the Laughing Buddha in Asia and China. It was a man by the name of Pu Tai. And he was a heavy-set man, and he always laughed. He never talked. He just laughed, and he gave out candy to the little kids when he came into town, and he had dropped the bag, then he'd just start laughing. And people would ask him questions, and he had just explained to them, I'm just really giving you the trick on life. And he would just laugh and laugh and laugh, and everybody would just start to laugh with him. And he said the magic lies inside the laughter. And there's power in the laughter. Because if you were able to laugh at your problems became smaller and more easily to handle. And you can never make bad decisions in the realms of laughter. But when we look at our problems as being so monstrous, and then we make all types of bad decisions because we can't even think about something positively. We can't even look at it or adjust it. It's just something that has to be this, and so we carry that emotion like a burden, and that burden becomes, all different types of negative expression for us. So even when he died, he said, I wanted to be cremated when I died. So when the time came, he passed away, they cremated him, and he, I guess he swallowed a whole bunch of fireworks. So when he was burning, he just fireworks started firing out of his ass. And even in death, even at the last moments of his life, he was able to create laughter in the people. So it's just important to understand this aspect, and not from an aspect where you niggas is taking everything so seriously. And once again, like I said, it's just a level. Whatever happens, we should always come back to laughter, because when you smile at the world smiles back at you. You should try it. I try it all the time. If I'm walking through the city with a smile on my face, it's contagious. People have to smile back at you because they wondering what you smiling about. So that's just general metaphysics though. But that's the laughing Buddha. But even in regular life, just deleting a habit for a new one and creating a new positive habit. We could all do this in our lives. I know I can personally, and just really use this as an indirect, abstract way for us in our magical pursuits. Just many things that we know we should be doing that we're not doing. Just really taking the effort and really creating an unstable environment for chaos energy to manifest. And chaos energy is the energy that we need to create miracles in our lives. So with that being said, man, this is episode 2 where we dealing with a lot of information. I don't know if people will have questions, but I'm sure they will. People might want to argue with me. I'm open to that as well. So yeah, just leave a comment. If you listen to it, share it, because that's only right. And with that being said, man, www.hoodmystic.com. This is Keeping It Conscious, episode 2, changing your mind and the power of laughter. Peace.